Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going over my ultimate Sephora makeup must-haves. The spring savings event is just around the corner, and I wanted to share some of my most reach for makeup in my collection and products that I think are definitely worth saving a little on this Sephora sale. So the spring savings event is going to be starting on April 5th for Rouge, which you will be getting 20% off your entire purchase, and then April 9th for VIB for 15% off your purchase, and then also April 9th for Insider for 10% off your Sephora purchase. I always like to shop this sale because a lot of the brands start releasing new makeup, and for me, as someone who likes to review a lot of the new products, I go a little crazy because I love to save a little bit on the new releases, but this is a great time to stock up on some of your essentials, stock up on some brands that don't necessarily go on sale a lot, like some of the more luxury high-end brands, and maybe replenish some of your favorites, like your favorite brow product or your powder that you're going through all the time. So while sometimes it's not the best deal if you're not that Rouge status, I feel like it's still a very popular event that a lot of people do like to shop, either if you are picking up some of your essentials or trying some new things. Today's video is just going to be focused on makeup, but I do have a fragrance one that I'm going to be probably posting next week to share some of my favorite spring and summer scents at Sephora that you can pick up during the sale, because you guys know how much I love making perfume content too. So if you guys want to see that, stay tuned. But let's get into these makeup products. A lot of these are just like tried and true favorites in my collection. There's only a few really super new releases. You've probably heard me mention these products a lot on my channel because they're major loves for me. As a reminder, I do have combo oily skin. If you guys have that same kind of skin type, you'll probably like a lot of my recommendations. I'm also 32. I have some fine lines, wrinkles, and I do have acne. So I'm always looking for some good coverage products as well. So let's go in order of how I like to do my makeup. Let's start with primer. I do have two primer recommendations. My oldie but goodie is still my Denona Myricks. This is the Yummy Skin Blurring Balm Powder. This is a godsend for oily skin. Nothing has worked as well as this for keeping me matte, especially in the summertime. I'm always putting this on. This is kind of a balm to powder finish like it says. It's a little weird to get used to at first because it is very creamy, and I'll be honest, I don't love the consistency of how it feels right away, but eventually once you kind of blend it onto the skin, it dries down to more of that powder matte finish, and I just cannot believe how matte this keeps me. Like, you will not see hardly any oil on my skin throughout the day, so it definitely helps my makeup for longevity. I like the tinted ones. This is number 3, just to add a tiny bit of coverage too, so I can even wear this as a skin tint if I want to, especially in spring and summer, but it works so well at blurring and just keeping you matte. So if you have more combo dry skin, definitely pass on this because you don't want to dry your skin out, but this is a must-have for those with oily skin. Now, I do like to have this option, but sometimes I like to have something a little more hydrating too, because I don't want to be ultra matte every single day, and this one works really well for me in the spring. I'm gonna have to see how it works in the summer for me, but this is the One Size Secure the Glow. It's a tacky hydrating primer. I really like this. It has a little bit of tack to it, but it's not super sticky like, let's say, the Milk makeup. It just kind of blends into the skin and has a nice gel-like finish. So I personally don't find this to be overly dewy whatsoever. I just feel like it adds a nice layer of hydration onto the skin, and it does keep my makeup looking really good. Like, it looks very smooth, very flawless. If this just makes you look too dry or too cakey, you might want to try this one instead. I probably wouldn't pick this if I'm wanting my makeup to last more than 12 hours just for myself. I'm probably going to go for the Denona on a very long makeup day or a very hot day where I'm outside a lot, but this is just one I can use for every day. My foundations just lay so beautifully over this. It just gives the perfect, nice, hydrated base for the skin, and I do feel like my makeup still lasts a decent amount of time with this on. For foundations, I did go a little bit more luxury. These are ones that don't ever go on sale, so it's nice to pick them up during the Sephora sale, because I know a lot of other brand websites often has deals running all the time. Like, I know Fenty is currently doing a sale for 25% 25% off. Makeup Forever, I think they're doing 25% to 30%. So sometimes you can find better deals on the brand websites, but I've been loving these two foundations and I feel like they work really well. And hey, if you've been wanting to try them, you might as well get a little discount on them. The newest one is the Prada, and this one shocked me. This is very expensive, and a lot of times luxury makeup kind of has a high price tag, and I feel like sometimes that price tag does not actually feel worth it for the formulas I'm getting, but this shocked me. This looks so beautiful on the skin. I love pairing it with the One Size primer. This is like the perfect combination. It is so smooth on the skin. Just looks so naturally beautiful. I've never had more compliments on my skin than when I'm wearing this, even when my skin is not its best. Like you can see today, I have breakouts. This kind of blurs everything. It's a nice medium coverage. It's very lightweight. I would say this works for any skin type, if you're oily or if you're dry. I really wish it wasn't so expensive, but I think I'm gonna pick up a slightly darker shade for my summer shade, like a self-tan shade, I think, during the sale, because if I can save 20% on this, I'm going to do that. But this line has really impressed me. It honestly makes me want to try the eyeshadow and the lipstick. The lipstick is like $50 though, so I don't know if I could stomach that with all the lip products coming out. But when a foundation impresses me, I feel like I'm more apt to spend money, because that's like my most important part of my routine is my foundation and like how my skin looks. I personally really love this. You guys have heard me talk about it so much. Another luxury favorite is the Dior. Now I know they did reformulate this, and I think I do have the reformulated one. I could be wrong, but I love this one too as a nice everyday foundation. Again, this is medium coverage, maybe light medium, just something I want to wear when I want my skin to look its best, but also natural. It's not going to give you the most coverage, but it still just wears so beautifully on the skin. I'll put my Prada shade down below because I cannot read whatever this says on the bottom, but my Dior shade is the 1N. I also wear the 0N sometimes as well. But yeah, it's so flattering. I feel like this is such a Sephora best-selling favorite for a reason. It just looks so beautiful on the skin. I've been kind of leaning away a little bit more from my super high coverage foundations and going for more medium looks. Sometimes skin tints here and there, but truly, I feel like the medium coverage is the best for what I'm looking for. Powders are so important to me as someone with oily skin. I always have to have a good powder. So these are definitely must-haves for me from Sephora. And if you can get a discount on the Givenchy Prism Libre, do it. It is so good, especially for the under eyes. Honestly, I would just pick up the mini size. I use the shade 3 if you're only doing it for under eyes, because this is going to last me such a long time, but the mini is just enough, I think, powder for if you're just doing under eyes. So I like this one because it has a brightening effect under the eyes, and it's a slight pink tone. If you're more fair to light skin tone, a lot of the pink powders that are very popular almost darken the under eyes because they're kind of a darker pink tone. They're not light enough to brighten if you have a fair skin tone. Like I've tried the Huda one, the One Size one, and they were just too dark for me. This one truly brightens, and it has a mix of like a translucent, a peach, a pink that creates this perfect shade, and it's so flattering under the eyes, so smoothing. If you have fine lines, it's such a thin formula. Like this is one you'll want to check out. It's just so beautiful. And then my ultimate just like all over setting powder is the Huda one. This is the Pound Cake shade. I recently got one at the last Sephora sale, so mine's pretty full, but I always reach for this one when I want to look my best. It's truly the most like smoothing, blurring setting powder on the market that also keeps me matte all day, so I stand by this powder and I feel like nothing can beat this one. It is the best of the best. All right, let's talk about eyeshadow palettes. I did grab 4 of some of my just recent favorite neutral palettes. Well, some of these are not recent, but favorites for a while. Let's do with my oldest one. This one is from Patrick Ta. If you have not tried his eyeshadow formula, now is the time to try it. He does have 3 palettes on the market, but this one's my favorite. This is the Major Dimension eyeshadow palette. I actually had to buy a new one because I used mine so much and brought it with me everywhere that I broke a couple of the shades, and when that happens to me, I get so annoyed because it's never the same. When you try to repress it back into the palette, it's never the same. So I ended up just like buying another one. So that's why mine doesn't look very loved, but I'm telling you, this is one of my favorite neutral palettes. I literally just wore it yesterday for a photo shoot. The mattes are so blendable and smooth. One of my favorite eyeshadow formulas on the market. It has 2 creams as well that you could use as like a layering base with the powders that do work well with them. And the shimmers are very pretty and very sparkly on the eyes. It just gives this gorgeous effect, and it's just one of my favorite neutral palettes of all time. Another big one that I really like, this is from Denona. I know they just came out with a blush toned one like this, but this is the Groundwork Defining Neutrals, and this really shocked me. This is not something I originally was going to pick up. This launched last year, but I ended up getting it in a Beautylish Lucky like random mystery box, and I absolutely loved this. This is like an all-in-one palette. It comes with a cream putty kind of shadow and a powder version of that same color. And it's all mattes, all neutral shades, and it's multi-use. So you can use these for eyeshadow. You can use them for filling in the brows, for bronzer. I've tried it for everything now, and it does work really well. So while this is definitely more marketed towards a makeup artist who works on a lot of different skin tones, I still love using this even just for matte eyeshadow looks. I feel like it's really easy to work with. I love the cream to powders in here. They're really nice to blend and look so soft and pretty on the eyes. And I'm not usually an all matte palette girl, but this one just kind of changed my mind about these all matte palettes, and I do find this to be so useful. So I think this is definitely one to check out. I really like Denona matte formula. Another one that's more luxury, and I have not seen this on sale ever. Even YSL does have a lot of sales, but this is always excluded. But this is the YSL Couture Mini Clutch little mini palette. This is pure luxury. Like, the packaging itself is just so beautiful. It has this tufted leather packaging, and then it is a quad. I have all of them in this line. They did send them to me. Again, this is not one I was gonna buy on my own. I usually just like write off luxury palettes because the ones I've tried have never been that great. Like Chanel, Dior, never impressed me. But when I tried this, I was impressed. I really was. Yes, it's expensive for 4 eyeshadows, but this is a nice kind of everyday one that you could use. It's a nice cooler neutral color scheme in shade 100. It's so beautiful on the eyes. Like, it truly feels luxury. Like, you will feel the difference when you put this on. The shadows are incredibly soft and flattering, and the metallics actually have some really pretty glitter and sparkle to them without settling into lines. So if you want to wear shimmer, and if you have more wrinkly eyelids, I know shimmer is usually something you avoid, but I'm telling you, something about this formula is so smoothing and just so flattering. I absolutely love it. So this has kind of been my favorite of the quads because, you know me, I love a good cooler color story. But if you're looking at this and you're like, that is just too expensive for me, Too Faced actually came out with this Cold Smolder palette, and it's actually really good. These are a little cheaper at $30, but you get a similar color scheme. I don't think the shades are as soft or as flattering as the YSL. There is a pretty big different price point here, and then adding the discount on top, I definitely think this is one to check out as well. I did a video on this one, and I was really impressed with the quality and the look that I got out of the Cold Smolder Nudes. You guys know I usually throw in a Natasha Denona palette here, but I would say with Natasha, like, there is so many affiliate codes, including mine, that get you 15% off their website. So I almost feel like it's kind of the same deal shopping on the Natasha site than the Sephora site. And I've noticed that Natasha's site has had a lot of really good deals lately. So I didn't mention any Natasha in today's video, but you guys know I love their palettes too. I did want to mention a favorite concealer as well from Laura Mercier. Now, I will tell you, I did use it in conjunction today with this Cali Ray Brightener. I'm just going to throw this in here. I will say this is still very new to me. I've only used this a few times, but the times that I've used it, I have been very impressed because my dark circles have just really come out to play this year. And I feel like I've just really had to utilize more color correctors into my routine because I just have so much puffiness from my under eyes. And I really do like this Cali Ray. It's called the Hideaway Brightening Under Eye Serum Concealer Corrector. I have the yellow shade, which is I think called Pale Sun. I was gonna go for the pink, but I think the pink isn't gonna hide as much as this more yellow toned one does, and it looks scary at first, but I'm telling you, once you blend it out and put your normal concealer on top, it pretty much neutralizes. So I've been impressed with this one so far. It's a really nice lightweight formula. I have the Huda. Don't know where it is. I have the Huda color corrector as well. I have a couple other ones that are a little more thick in consistency, but I really like how lightweight this one is, so I can wear it underneath my concealers. And then, like I was mentioning, the concealer I've been really loving lately is actually the Laura Mercier Real Flawless. This is the same line as their Real Flawless foundation that went viral this year, but this really impressed me. This one is a nice thinner formula, which I don't always like thin formula concealers because sometimes they don't have enough coverage. This definitely has enough coverage, but still staying thin. It's really incredible how the formula works. It honestly wears so well for me throughout the day. It lasts all day. I find so many concealers just fade away as you're wearing them and then the dark circles come back, but this truly lasts for a full day's wear. I have the shade 1C1 in this one, and yeah, I'm really impressed with the Laura Mercier concealer. I think it is so flattering on the under eye. For mascara, I think I've mentioned this several times, but I have to mention it again. My favorite mascara at Sephora is still the Rare Beauty one. I always stock up on this every year. This just gives my lashes that really nice, thick, lengthened look that I feel like I don't have to wear falsies. A lot of times, I feel like I always have to at least have a half lash on because I just feel like it just elevates the look. But with this, I feel like it gives me enough thickness that I feel like I don't need that extra half lash on top. It is so good. I tend to use a lot more drugstore mascaras over high end, but there's something truly special about this Rare Beauty formula. Next up, we have cheek products, and for bronzer, I wanted to mention this Give Beauty one. This is so good. So underrated. I feel like people really need to try this formula out. It's such a nice cream and powder duo. I used to really like the Patrick Ta ones, but this one has actually taken the top spot. I love that you get a little 2-in-1 with the cream and the powder, and both formulas blend out so nice. I do have 2 shades in this. This one in particular is Toastin'. I have a little self-tan on right now, so I went with this darker shade. I also have the one above that too for when I don't have self-tan. This is just a really nice perfect tone. It has warmth to it, which I like for a bronzer, but not too orangey. I would say it is more of a neutral tone, but just the formula of this is spectacular. How well it blends out together, and I love layering the cream and the powder for someone who has oily skin. Sometimes if I just use the cream alone, it doesn't always hold up on me throughout the day, so I do the cream first and the powder on top, and our bronzer lasts all day long. Such a good formula. I'm really excited. Give Beauty's coming out with some new, I think, liquid blushes for the sale, and I definitely want to grab one of those, and I think a new lip product too. But I've always been impressed with all of their releases. I feel like there's nothing that's really let me down, besides maybe their eyeshadow palettes I thought were kind of blah, but oh my gosh, their cheek products are insane. For blush, I really had to narrow it down to a couple favorites, but first place, of course, goes to Patrick Ta. These new blush duos that he came out with for more fair to light skin are so good. They're like all I wear now. Like, I do not hardly reach for anything else. But let me go over the shades. I have on the shade Not Too Much, and this is the perfect, just like rosy neutral tone. I found that I loved Patrick Ta's blush formula, but a lot of the colors just ended up looking so bright on my skin since I am more fair, and these are a little bit less pigmented and just more natural looking. They're so good. If you guys have a similar skin tone to me, please try these out. They're one of my favorite formulas. They last all day. They do come again with a cream and powder. With these, you actually put on the powder first and the cream on top to add in a little extra glow, and it doesn't disrupt the blush at all. Adding the cream, it actually looks so beautiful. Like, I feel like I don't even need a highlight. It just gives me that lit from within type of look, so you're not looking too matte. And then I'll just put a translucent powder on top, and it lasts all day for me. So this is my favorite color right now, the Not Too Much. Beautiful. But all 3 shades are incredible. She's the Moment. This is such a pretty peach, like a light toned peach. And also this pink is the perfect baby pink. That's not too crazy. I've tried like every baby pink blush, and a lot of times they just don't look right on me. This is perfection. And yes, it is different than every other pink blush from Patrick Ta. I've tried them all. this is the best one. So I highly recommend adding these to cart for the Sephora sale. I could definitely see these selling out the first day. I did want to choose a liquid blush as well. So these have been my favorite from Say because they're just so natural and beautiful. And I did see that they had a little set on Sephora, which I would totally get the set if you haven't tried these yet, because it actually comes with the chili shade that I have here, which is like my go-to. It also has a liquid luminizer, and there's one more product in there. I think one of their glossy balms as well. It's a really good set, so I would definitely go for that over maybe just one of these because you get a little bit more for your money. I would buy that set if I didn't own the products already, so I'm just telling you that you guys should get it. So I'm not going to buy it myself because that would be kind of a waste when I already have the products, but if you don't have chili yet, get the set. These are just beautiful. They're so nice and just natural. They have a similar look to the Rare Beauty blushes, but these just blend out so much better. They're not as crazy pigmented. You can just see like how easy that was to blend. So it's a little bit more natural on the skin. It is a little bit more dewy looking, but I've never had an issue with longevity with this formula. Again, I just set with powder and we're good to go. So that one is how chili looks. I also own the shade Rosy, which this one, it's more of a peach tone. It's not really rose in my opinion, but this one is Rosy. These are just so pretty. So those are the Say liquid blushes that I highly recommend. I actually have their concealer coming in today. They have a new one and I'm really excited to try it. I did want to mention as well the One Size setting spray because this is definitely worth the hype. I know last sale this was sold out, so hopefully you're able to get this, but this really is good. I feel like I haven't mentioned it in a minute and I just had to throw some love for this again. This is like literal hairspray for your face. Like, you know how hairspray holds your curls in? This will hold your makeup in. It does feel like it has like a tiny bit of tack to it, but it does dry down, but you can just feel your face setting in. Now, I definitely would say this is probably better for more oily skin. If you're dry skin, this might feel too maybe tight on you, and I would maybe recommend more of a glowy setting spray. This one just works really well for setting things. If you need your makeup to last, it will last with this. I've always loved this one and I think it's definitely worth the hype, so I thought I would mention. I literally just got the new glitter one too. Of course, I'm not going to be using this on the face, but I will be using this on the body. I should be doing a video on that soon, but love their original One Size mattifying waterproof setting spray. It truly is sweat proof. It's so good. And last category is lips, and you guys know there's been so many lip launches, so I really wanted to narrow these down to my true ultimate number ones. So for lip liner, I have been loving the Hourglass lip liners. I know it's a little bit expensive, but truly these last on the lips. Now, I know that Hourglass was just doing their friends and family sale for 20% off, so that might be a better deal for you if it's still going on. I don't know, it might be over by now, but these, I've done a wear test on them and they lasted through a full day and eating Mexican. I had chips, salsa, cheese dip, a quesadilla. My lip liner was still there while my lipstick was gone, but the outline was still there from the lip liner. It truly stays all day, doesn't budge, which I expect from a higher end lip liner. This shade in particular is in Expose 1. I think that's the lightest shade. This is what it looks like on the skin. It's a nice kind of slightly pinky cool toned nude, and this is my ultimate favorite lip combo paired with this Makeup by Mario lipstick. I have this on now. This is in Midtown from one of his newer Super Satin releases, but this lip combo, seriously, the ultimate. If you guys like a lighter neutral nude like this, I highly recommend. But these satin lipsticks are so nice. I know he had a formula out before that I thought was just okay, but truly this Midtown color is everything. Here is how it looks. It has a slight shine to it, but it actually lasts pretty well on the lips throughout the day. So if you've been trying to find like a nice light nude that doesn't run too pink or too warm, this is such a nice in between. I've done a couple videos on it and a lot of you guys picked up the combo as well and have been saying that you loved it too. It's so good. Also, I let that hourglass set a little bit. I'm just gonna smudge it, and you can see it smudges a little bit, but it's still there. It's not gonna wipe away. So such a good lip liner. Okay, another somewhat newer lip product that I've really been loving is from Haus Labs. This is their PhD Hybrid Lip Glaze Gloss. It's supposed to be a hybrid of like a lip mask, a lip gloss, a lip balm, a lip oil, something like that in one. Just like a little bit of everything. It's truly incredible. It looks so dang good on the lips. This is the Macaron shade. I am 100% picking up more of these during the sale because I was so impressed with this formula. It has such a super glossy sheen and a nice thickness to it where it's not gonna wear down right away. It is incredible. I was so impressed with this. With even all the new lip oils and lip balms coming out, this truly is top tier. And my favorite lip balm is actually this one from K Skin. I know I always rave about Summer Fridays, and I still recommend Summer Fridays, but this is number one. This smells incredible, and it has like this thick texture. I like a good thick lip balm that's not sticky, but the thicker the balm, the more it's gonna last. So you can see like how thick that is on the skin. Smells like yummy vanilla cake batter, and I think these also have SPF 30 in them, so they're gonna be good for the lips. They feel hydrating. Oh my gosh. I have the shade, I think Nude Ting is what it's called. I know they have a clear, but I love having that little bit of pink to my lips. So this is perfection. I'm so impressed, and I know there was some issues with these getting clogged. I personally have not had this happen yet. This is a newer shade, so I'm hoping that means they fixed this problem, but I'm just letting you know, I personally never had an issue with that. So that is my Sephora makeup favorites right now. So my holy grail top tier products that I feel like make me the most confident when I'm wearing. I will be featuring again some perfumes in an upcoming video. I might throw some body care in there as well if you guys want to see that. I have my Sephora cart stocked up and ready to go for the event. But yeah, let me know what stuff you've been loving. If you have any recommendations for me to pick up, I love to know. I don't know if I'm going to be filming a wish list just because I have so much stuff that I need to get up this week, and I'm going to be gone next week in New Orleans actually. So I don't think I'll have time to do a wish list, but you will see my haul as soon as I can. I'm literally getting back on Friday, which is the same day the sale starts. So I will have to make a pit stop after the airport to Sephora so I can get my goodies. And I usually like to upload that day, but it's looking like it's probably going to be Saturday. I'll have a haul video up. Stay tuned for that and my fun perfume video, but I'm going to let you guys go, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.